think about it, like how much you're spending today from your budget on bringing traffic, you know? Your store is not like on Fifth Avenue, okay? It's somewhere on the web. People need to know about you, and you're spending a lot until you're creating a brand to bring this traffic.
Welcome to Honest E-Commerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Rep.AI. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Honest E-Commerce. Today, I'm bringing to you not one, but two amazingly smart gentlemen in the world of AI. I have Yoav and Shauli, the co-founders of Rep.AI. It's an AI-powered conversational tool that unobtrusively guides shoppers through their journey, leading to better customer experiences and higher conversion rates while also resolving the vast majority of support inquiries. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I'm excited. So I guess first and foremost, let's just take a step back. What were your careers like before launching this startup? How did you end up in the e-commerce space? Give me the short story there.
I came from like more of the investor side, investing in tech very shortly. After that, I built my first company as one of the co-founders and sold it to another company. So I was like a strategic planner for DTB, part of Publicis. I was building the marketing strategy for brands from Fortune 500 for a couple of years. And then they decided they want me to invest in tech companies that can do much better for brands, e-commerce, online. Did it for a few years, started my previous company, sold it to another company, and started this company with Shauli that we know each other more than 15 years now. Best friends. We even used to be roommates for 5 years, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We go way back. So I'm in the tech industry for the last 20 years. Rose up from being a developer, but went up to VP of R&D in my last company before we started Rep together. And in my last company, I was doing a lot of AI stuff before it was actually called AI. Before AI was when AI was a curse, basically, when it was just called machine learning. So did a lot of that stuff mainly in behavioral AI, understanding user behavior on websites and how to engage with that and how to predict what's their next move in order to have an action. So back then it was more in the publishing tech world. So we worked with companies like CNN and the biggest publishers around. And now basically took the same idea and we moved it into e-commerce, how we can predict what customers are doing on the website and actually have actionable items based on that.
Absolutely. So when this episode comes out, it's going to be roughly around the 3-year anniversary of when ChatGPT kind of just like broke the internet, one of those cultural moments. Obviously, right when it first came out, everyone thought it could do everything. And now we've learned that, there's some things it's good at, some things it's bad at, things that it's getting better at. So with all that in mind, what do you think was one of the things that surprised you that AI could do, and what do you think it's like still struggling to do well?
I mean, one of the things it's struggling to do well is understand full context of the environment where it's in. I think that's something that we see a lot of companies trying to overcome that with bringing more data into AI, and I think that's the main struggle that exists today is how do you educate the AI about the full environment, about the full context of where it's at. And we see that with many solutions that are out there that they're very, everyone gets a cookie cutter experience. So it doesn't matter who you are. You approach the AI and you start speaking to the AI and you get the same experience as anyone else just because the AI doesn't know much about you, about what you've been doing. And that's basically one of the things that we see as a great leverage of how to get the AI, feed the AI more data, more context. And that's something that is actually getting better today. So context windows are becoming larger and larger. So the new models have larger context windows, so they remember you more. So I don't know if you probably remember that when ChatGPT came out, 3.5, then it didn't know much about you. Every time you start a new conversation, it would start from scratch. And then OpenAI introduced way later on, introduced the memory capabilities where it's able to actually track what you said before and continue from there. So it started gathering memory about you, and everything that you said is coming up in the next conversation. And this is something that we see that is missing in e-commerce. Every time I click on a chatbot solution, most likely I'm going to start from scratch. It doesn't know who I am. It doesn't know what I've been doing on the website at all. And this is where it's struggling. One of the things that we're trying to bridge is bringing that behavioral information into the AI to make sure it's equipped with all the information. So the conversation starts with, hey, I know exactly what you're doing. I know exactly what you're looking for. Let me help you.
I will take it for like a different angle, Chase. If to be honest, like most of us as a consumers, not really using the power of the AI. It's great that we're saying that we're asking GPT questions and doing those kind of stuff, but this is basically what most of the people is doing. Okay, we're sometimes doing automation and we sometimes playing with it a little bit more, but we're not utilizing like 10% from the power of what GPT or other solution giving us. And this is when companies coming in, when companies can really have the developers having the power, having the capital, to build something that is more robust, that can really utilize the power that now we have, to make a significant impact, to other companies or individuals. And I think this is one of the things that we're doing. And there is a lot of other companies that are trying to do, like to take the power that they have in-house, the capital that they have, and to create something that is much more simple for other, in this case here, e-commerce can use, and to benefit from that.
I think that is an amazing point. I think that most general users of AI, you're correct, they are not using it well. They're using like a shotgun to kill a spider when they're just, it's so much power for the simple thing that they're trying to do. And they're not really thinking about it in a way that could change their business or give them better answers.
I totally agree. I think like one of the things that everyone is now trying to do is like, okay, let's reduce cost, let's make the support much more automated and have more powers. This is great, but this is kind of like a solution that exists. If it's good by 90%, so good by 70%, this is great, but you basically can have this power that you now can approach also to people that didn't buy the product. They don't need support and assist them. You can not only save time, you can increase revenues. You can utilize the power of that to do analysis on real data and get real insight and stop guessing how this is going to work, how this is working, and if you need to spend this budget there or there. Like you can use it for so many things that can impact the entire company if you are one person or like 100 people inside of the company. But you need to be in the set of mind that it's possible and not only like to look at it as ChatGPT can answer my tickets, support tickets, and I can reduce costs.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that a lot of not sophisticated tech people do with AI, and we're using ChatGPT as just like, it's the name in the industry. Like you use Google, Google isn't every search engine. ChatGPT isn't every AI model, but basically people are just using ChatGPT to replace Google and just have a conversation with their query or their question, which is not the best result that you can have. You can do crazy stuff with it. Now, I do want to talk a bit more about what you were saying about how your specific model and business is not only helping with the support tickets, but it's helping pre-purchase and kind of seeing how the customer is interacting with the website. So would an example be, I'm on a website, they're selling, let's just say skateboards, and they're like, hey, we noticed you're looking at this particular deck. Like, what question do you have? Is that something that it's doing for me?
Yeah, exactly. It's even more than that. So it grabs the entire context of where you are and what you looked at and what you bought before. So it knows exactly. Imagine you walk into a brick and mortar store and you're looking at different items. And then the sales assistant comes in and say, hey, I saw you checked out our running shoes. Do you have any questions? Is any specific type of running you're interested in? Maybe I can actually try to match something that makes makes more sense for you. And then it brings on that sales conversation. And it's exactly what we're giving on for e-commerce, right? It's the same exact experience. We know the AI knows everything that the user is doing because we track everything that they're doing. And once the AI approaches the customer, the AI approaches the customer with all the context to bring the customer in the conversation and to try to sell the customer to different items or upsell. Doesn't matter. So each case is different, obviously. It's super personalized to the use case. But the whole point is it's trained. It has the context of the behavior and is trained to sell as much as a salesperson and brick and mortar store would do.
I love when Shauli's explained it in that way. For me, it's like when we started it was a crazy story. I was like, after selling the company, I was like thinking what I'm going to do next. And basically I was doing online shopping for like 3 months. Keep buying stuff. And I realized that 99% of the time I'm not buying anything. I saw like a great ad on Facebook. I saw a great new company, on Google that I searched for something. And when I was coming to the website, I wasn't buying the product. And I realized that I don't have time to read 8 pages about a type of coffee. And I don't have a chat that I can ask about product. And usually if I try to call to a call center, it was the worst experience ever. And I was someone that's willing to buy. And this is how we came with the idea of Rep, that is the shortcut of representative, because we want to give this assistance to people. But when we did it, there was 3 parts that were very important to understand and can do it. And we did it with AI. One is to mimic the salesperson. The first thing that a salesperson is doing is looking at the people around them, where they're coming from, what they're doing. So we understand if they need something or they're going to live in a second. They're like a potential buyer or not. The second thing is that if they're detecting that someone needs assistance, when is the right time to come and assist them? It's now, or when he's looking on the next product, or he's collecting a few items. There is a lot of, sales science behind it. And after that, when you're approaching, you need to have more education than the buyer to give the best recommendation or the advice that will make him trust you as the person that know better than you. This is 3 parts, 3 different technologies that we created that enabling that. And it took us 2 years to train it, and it took us more than 500 clients and more than 100 million conversations to make it possible, to make it good for everyone now. So this is how you can utilize, by the way, great solution with AI and the abilities that you can do that and split to 3 different parts that you combine together as one solution.
No, that's amazing. Now I want to talk about what I think is, a great positioning that I just heard, which is, think about it as like a sales rep in a store, like a physical, it's basically, it's going to do a good job of emulating that experience, because let's use that skateboard shop example. If I go to my local skateboard shop, Joe remembers everything I bought. He remembers the wheels I put on my deck. He remembers the grip tape. He remembers, the types of brands that I'm interested in. So not only is he going to be like, oh, do you need a replenishment? You need new wheels for your skateboard. He's also going to be like, we just got in these new shirts from this brand. Are you interested in seeing those? Yeah. I mean, is this the same type of power that this AI is also going to bring to my Shopify store?
It is, and I would say that the impact in e-commerce is sometimes even bigger, because think about it, like how much you're spending today from your budget on bringing traffic, your store is not like on Fifth Avenue, okay? It's somewhere on the web. People need to know about you, and you're spending a lot until you're creating a brand to bring this traffic. So this traffic is going to meet you for the first time. What kind of impact do you want to give them? That you investing a lot on the experience that they can ask about stuff. Second, that you can catch them before they're leaving and to give a recommendation. Also, because you're doing that, you have a better chance to get a better ROAS on the advertising, so you can spend more. If you have more clients, it's meaning that your LTV might go better. And sometimes when people spend more time on your website, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all those places, thinking that the person converted, so the CPM decreases. So the impact is huge. It's not only on the value that you increase the sales, it's also recovering lost revenues, and it's impacting the entire brand cycle.
The beauty of AI agents is they can actually optimize on that. So you can tell them, I want to increase my average order value. And then it goes and upsells and does the best to upsell and tries different techniques in order to make sure that the upsell method is the best way. And this is something that technology allows us to do today, which is pretty amazing. It's really optimizing the website. So imagine the websites, the traditional websites are just search in a menu and there's nothing new about them. You can't really optimize them. If you're trying to optimize them, it's all guesswork. It's running A/B tests on things that sound good, but they don't really provide value. And here AI can actually go ahead and talk to as many customers on the website as possible, try out different things on them and see what works and optimize on that.
That's great. Now, we've talked about, these AI agents replacing, not necessarily replacing salespeople, but, assisting, and they exist on the store. But it does, this isn't just a glorified chatbot that's going to pop up and annoy me, right? Like, what's the difference?
The philosophy of like something that popping up, interfering to clients or to visitors is true. It's true when it was pop-ups, when it was statics, we didn't know the context, when it was like just here is 30% before you're leaving the website. But if there is any behavioral insights, AI that are touching to the approach, like a salesperson, there is a good experience. It's exactly the example I think that Shauli talked about. If you come into a brick and mortar store and in the moment that you enter to the store, the salesperson jumps and telling you, hey, do you need assistance? You're like, wait a second, I didn't enter yet and I don't know if I want to buy something. But if it's the salesperson, and this is the worst experience, but if the salesperson is looking at you and see what you're doing until you're finding a product, holding it in your hands and looking for help, if it's a good salesperson will see the behavior and know that this is the right time to approach you. This is a very different experience. And this is why people like me, that a lot of brands miss my sales, that I want to buy something, can now use this technology to really help their experience of the visitors that come to the website.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, instead of it just being a generic pop-up that's like, do you want 30% off skateboards? It's like, hey, we noticed you were looking at this particular deck. We have a sale on completes. Are you interested in getting it, by next Thursday? I mean, that's just like a marketing 101. The more personalized your approach can be, the higher the ROI is going to be.
Exactly. And I think that the main addition to that is that we collect over 500 different data points about what's happening on the website. So what you click on, how you hover over items, which items you've seen now in this session or in a previous session. Of course, what you bought before, where you are in the world, what time of day is it? All that information is being fed to the AI to make decisions in real time. And the AI makes decisions about what to offer you, how to approach you as a customer, and how to lead that sales conversation all the way to checkout.
Absolutely. And I know we only got a few minutes left here, but with all those different data points and me integrating this into my tech stack, I'm not a data scientist or an AI specialist. Like, is this hard to do?
So no, we're a full plug-and-play solution, one-click integration to Shopify stores. Basically, super easy. You can get up and running in 5 minutes. Of course, if you want to go ahead and manage the AI's conversation, enrich it with more information, train it in different ways, connect it to different platforms, you're able to do that. But to get up and running only takes 5 minutes.
We have a different approach, a little bit. I think it's part of the reason that we build a company. We want to build a company in e-commerce that is fully transparent, that is showing you everything. So in our platform, you can see how many we approach to, how many we talk to, where the sales coming in, even the checkout and the end to cart are inside of the chat himself. So the attribution is easy. We're showing exactly how many move to talk to a human, how many the AI answered, what optimization you need to do and things like that. And it's all very easy to do. But we also know that, a lot of brands want to have AI, but also afraid to have AI, to talk to their visitors. It's costing them a lot. So we bring from our side AI experts that can be part of extension to the team and to train the AI by their request, including the tone of voice. So if you're selling a Renaissance product, it can sound like a Renaissance guy. So everything is adjustable, everything can create it, and everything we can do it for the brand himself if they don't have the time, and time it's a big thing now, with everything that's happening. And we're more than happy to do that. It's part of the model.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, if I'm listening to this and I'm a brand and I'm like, hey, you know what, embracing AI, this is right up our alley. This is something that I want to investigate. And they're curious to learn more about your product and how it might be able to help their brand. Where should they go? What should they do?
So first of all, they can go to the website. It's Rep.AI.
Rep.AI.
Exactly. And the first thing that we did, we built a simulator. So anyone that wants to try it, only 10% of the power of that can do that with no integration. The second thing is to book a demo or to do the onboarding. It's only 6 clicks to onboard. And as part of transparency, our philosophy is also don't pay if you don't see value. So we're giving to anyone, no matter what the size is, 30 days free trial. And for the second month, money back guarantee. So if you don't see at least 5x on what you're paying to us, we will not charge you.
Oh, that's an amazing offer there. Before you guys go, anything that you want to leave with our audience?
Try more AI tools, but not only for support. You will be amazed what you can do with few people, and the impact that it's going to do to your own store when you're analyzing the data.
Amazing, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing all those amazing insights.
Thank you, Chase.
Thanks, Chase.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestycommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.